Hello, everybody. Welcome back to How Come. This episode is the third that was put out today. I think you can tell that Ashley Gavin influenced me a little bit when she was like, just put out regular episodes. And I put out the first one this month. And then I just fell back into being who I am. And three are coming out today, which it seems to be the pattern that, yes, you do get 4 episodes a month, but like they come all at once. And you can't really get mad at stuff for coming all at once, can you? I don't know. Anyway, today's episode is with my boyfriend, Ben. It's episode 20, which means he's back and we're chatting. And this one's a bit chaotic because he's across the country. The man doesn't have a laptop anymore. He dropped it in a puddle. So we are recording from his phone, which sucks. But I really cleaned up the audio, so like, you're welcome. And it is a fun episode. And you learn a lot about us and our plans as a couple. And if in the last 2 episodes, you're like, why does Remy keep asking us for money? 1, because I spend more on this podcast than I make. And 2, because you'll hear in this episode, I have some plans for things that require funds. And I will be using all of my savings to do them. So if you would like to contribute, if you have the ability to contribute, $5, $1, patreon.com/howcome. $5 gets you everything that I've ever posted on there. So every video, every episode with extras, every post-coitus, everything. $5. Pretty cool. There's also an option to give a little more. We have one really, really generous person who gives us like $20 a month, just for no good reason except for that they support the podcast or forgot about it. But either way, I am like eternally grateful to this person. Shout out to Justin. And yeah, we would just really appreciate the support to keep the podcast going. Because I feel like for a little bit, we were in like a slump where I was like, I'm not coming. I don't want to do this anymore. But now I'm like rejuvenated. And even though I'm not having orgasms, I'm having like brain-gasms with these guests. And I don't know if you've heard the episodes this season, or if you haven't and you didn't realize that like so many were coming out, go back and listen. I'm like very proud of what we've done thus far. And yeah, usually episode 20 is like the halfway point or halftime show. And I think it's just going to get better and better and better. And there's already another episode up on patreon.com/howcome that I will put out next month. But yeah, you get early things and encourage me. And I really love you guys no matter what. But yeah, it would be really, really helpful. And I'm going to stop spieling now because it's time to do the episode. Okay? Comedian, boyfriend, friend, cutie pie, and really good cook, Ben DeMarco. Let's go.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
Hello, Ben.
Hi, Remy. Hello, everyone.
This is the weirdest way I've ever recorded. You're on the phone in your car.
I'm on the phone in my car. I've got a secondary phone open with a recording. What do you call that? A voice memo going right now. So hopefully we can get some solid audio from that.
Yep.
But I'm in Portland. You're in New York.
Thank you.
I'm staying with my parents, and I would just be recording in the house right now, but we have the cleaners there. You hate the cleaners. But yeah,
they break stuff and they steal stuff. And this isn't me being like anti all cleaners. Like these
no,
specific
of course not.
cleaners.
The cleaners that my parents
to do that.
Yeah, the cleaners that my parents hire, of all require you to be out of the house. So that they can steal and break more things.
Everything is their way.
Yeah.
And we clean the house before they come. Like really all they do is
they do
vacuum
vacuuming and like the toilets. But apparently that's an Italian thing. It's an Italian thing to clean the house before the cleaners come.
I mean, I'm not saying leave it as like a shithole. Like,
right. No, but I mean, we do like full, we do like full cleans. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I found out recently that is like an Italian or even Spanish like household thing that they like to clean before the cleaners come. I don't know why. But anyway, yeah, so I left the house and now I'm parked outside of my elementary school, Smith Elementary School.
Whoa.
Yep, so that's where I am right now. I'm just looking at my old school and this is where Remy and I used to smoke so much weed during COVID.
No, but also this is importantly the first place that Ben ever jizzed.
Oh, right. Yeah, this is true. This is where I had my first orgasm. Oh my God. Yeah. So I'm sure we've talked.
Give them a refresher if people haven't been here since season 1.
Yeah. So the refresher is when I was a kid, probably like first or even second grade, I would do something on the school like bars, the jungle gym bars at Smith Elementary, where I would kind of like hang from the bar with my legs up, and I was basically like flexing every single muscle, and I would call it stronging up. And what was crazy is like what I've realized in my older age was that I was having orgasms when I was stronging up. Nothing was coming out of my penis at that age, but I was having full-blown orgasms just on the jungle gym at like 6 or 7 years old. And my parents would just be like, what the hell is he doing over there? And I'd be like, oh, I'm stronging up. And really, I was just creaming in my pants.
Yeah, I've learned since then, or like, since doing the pod, that there are a lot of people that have abdominal orgasms. Like there are some people who can't go to the gym and do crunches because they'll have orgasms.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where it was at. And so it started on the jungle gym at Smith Elementary. And then I figured out that I could actually do it by lifting my legs and supporting my weight with my arms, like on a chair or on a stool or my dad's organ. Yeah.
An 4 or 5 times on an organ.
What's that?
I said an orgasm on an organ.
Yeah, an orgasm. An
orgasm.
Yes.
Or like, when people are waiting online for a roller coaster and they're balancing on like the handrails.
Yep. That's exactly what it looks like.
Yep, that's what you could
and
be doing it there too.
Yeah,
people think it's annoying to watch couples like kiss online and cuddle, but like there could be a little child jizzing right next to you as well.
And you wouldn't even know.
Except
that they're probably shaking. I would be shaking by the time I would. Yeah, but by the time I reached full stronging up, my arms would be shaking, and it's been a while since I've tried to do it, but I'm sure I could still do it.
Well, you did it like in high school, right, or in college, like to impress.
Yeah,
your
I did. Yeah, I did
shit?
it. I did it several times in high school to like make the boys laugh. And at that time,
that's insane.
And at that time, like there was literally cum in my pants. So it'd be like we'd all be hanging out over at a friend's house that has like a trampoline. I'd go strong up on the trampoline, drop a load in my pants, and then literally scoop the cum out of my pants and show the boys like, "See, I told you I could do it." And they'd all laugh and like freak out. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. And then the last time I did it was in college when with the lacrosse team, because once again I'm telling this story that I can do this thing and nobody believes me. So it's like we're in a hotel room, like on the road, playing some on the road team, and it was like me and like 8 lacrosse guys in the room, and I'm stronging up in the chair, but like I made sure that like nobody would look at me, so it's like 8 guys all facing a wall, and I'm just like stronging up in the corner, and then finally I'm like, oh yep, here's the cum, boys, here's the proof in the pudding.
That's fucking crazy. Also, like, how do they know you're not just like sneaky jerking?
Yeah, or
if they're turned around.
If they're turned around. Yeah, I could have, and I could have been sneak jerking, or I could have had cum from yesterday in my pants.
You could have kept cum from yesterday. Well, basically, you've had some big male orgies where you were like the focal point, low key.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you wanna really break it doon for what it is.
Happy Pride, Ben.
Yes, thank you. I'm gay.
You're gay. Yeah, I read our texts to Bronwyn and her girlfriend about what you would do for a day as a woman.
Oh yeah. You called me gay recently, or told me I was gay.
Well, yeah, but like also they thought Well, because you said, like, most of the people, it was like, oh, I would have guys buy me drinks. And you were like, I would get pounded.
Well, yeah. So you asked what I would do if I was a girl for a day, right? For just one day. Yeah. And I was like,
day.
yeah, I'd have sex. I'd want to know what it feels like to have sex. I guess it doesn't have to be a guy, like an actual penis, but yeah, I'd be shoving dildos up there or like
for sure.
Yeah, just trying to figure out my body. And then I said, well, could I also be like 9 months pregnant and be getting banged? Because that would be feel crazy. Like, I just want to experience all I could experience in the day, basically. So give me the full thing.
Yeah. They were very impressed with the pregnancy aspect of it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But again, I would love to be 9 months pregnant for a day. Like, that
sounds great.
That's an experience I've never done and might never do. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? All right. Well, so this is the 20th episode where Ben always shows up.
I just show up. I come sneaking out of there. I come sneaking onto the podcast. I say, hello, everyone. I'm back.
Yeah. But it's also like a month away from our 10-year Bangiversary.
Oh my God, what a fabulous 10 years it has been. I love it. And I love you. Let's do 10 more.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Forever for now.
Forever for now.
That's
is
right.
what we say.
That's what we say, in case I die.
Or anything else.
Oh, Remy's going to break up with me, it sounds like.
Or, I mean, you never know, Ben, what may happen in this life.
This is true.
Like, I was kind of nervous to do this on the phone because we don't do a ton of like good phone talking.
Well, I mean, this is podcasting, so we're trying extra hard not to have dead air, keep the conversation going. When I'm talking to you on the phone just regularly, I'm just being comfortable and like I'm okay with having long silences and just knowing that you're on the phone.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't think we have bad phone conversation. Like I look all the time and like we sometimes talk on the phone for over an hour, hours at a time.
No, I know. I think we just have better FaceTimes than phone conversations.
Oh, sure. Well, it's easier to respond to somebody when you can see their full, reactions and I just get to look at how cute you are. So that's easier.
But it got me to thinking because, I've been discussing potentially moving to LA. You've been toying with the coming with me or like the whatever. And I realized like I've never done a long distance thing, if that's where we end up, but you have.
Right.
And that was pre-FaceTime.
Oh,
so like how did that work out,
Oh, well, I wouldn't recommend doing long distance, period. I fucking hated it. I don't want to do that again. But now that we've been professional comedians forever now, so you and I are used to not being around each other. Like even right now, I've been gone for 2 weeks. So it's like, as far as long distance goes, if you were to go to LA, I don't think we would go more than 3 weeks to a month of not seeing each other. I'd just be able to bounce over to LA and like see you. It's not really like a long distance. In my head, it's not a long distance thing. It's like you're in LA for work or for a little bit and I can come see you whenever I want. Like it's not like, so in my head, that's not it. Back when I did have a long distance relationship in college, it was... there was no FaceTime, but there were webcams. Webcams were a thing back then. It was really shitty and glitchy and whatever, but there was webcam stuff, but mostly it was just like, talking a lot on the phone. Probably like, it'd be like we talk every day on the phone. I mean, you and I already do that. We try to talk at least every day when we're separated. So it's just a lot of that, but I don't know.
But it did not work out too well.
Well, it didn't work out too well because, we were both like 19, It's like you're still kids. You don't know what you want. You both go to separate college towns where there's new people and new things. So there's a lot of external challenges that I don't think I have currently or would have. But yeah, it's just, it's two dumb kids that, tried to make it work and it didn't work.
And tried to make it work after.
Yeah, I tried to make it work after and but it was difficult. I don't recommend long distance.
See, that being said, There's a specific couple I'm thinking of right now, and you'll know who I'm talking about in a second, but I don't want to say who. Where I'm always like, why does this guy need to be around?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's not really a long distance couple.
No. I'm saying so there's this couple I know that her family doesn't like him for like really, really good reasons that I can't get into. But she lives with him the majority of the year. And then during a few months, there's like a time where she and the family are supposed to all be together. But she always brings him, and no one in the family wants to hang out with her when he's around. They're like, we want to hang out with you and we want to see you because we never see you, but we don't want to hang out with him. And I can't really explain this, but she puts him in a place that belongs to everyone else, and it makes everyone uncomfortable, and they don't want to go to that place anymore. Anyway, whenever I bring it up, I'm like, why don't, like, when you're with your family, you just like send him away for like 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever. Like most of the year, she's like, doesn't live with her family. And she's like, I don't want to be away from him for 2 months, which makes me feel like she can't be away from him for 2 months. Like she is either codependent or like doesn't trust him or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Probably a little bit of both. Probably a little bit of both.
I feel like you should be able to be apart from someone.
Yeah, I think so too, especially given all the modern advances in technology and stuff like that. Like it does make it a lot easier. But yeah, it is probably like a dependency thing, or because I mean that's what for me with my long distance situation, I don't recommend it, not because it was like difficult, you know, I was worried about cheating or like worried about stuff like that. It was more at the time that like it's really not fun to be away from the person you want to be spending your time with. So it's like that was the hardest part. And then, you know, of course it's, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder kind of thing, where it's like when you do get to see each other, it's like, you know, really great. But ultimately for me, what was difficult about it was like the nagging feeling of, oh, I wish this person was around. And I didn't have like this. I didn't have,
sweet.
Yeah, I didn't have like the mental capacity or like the skill sets yet to really like not let that feeling take over my entire like, you know, thing. So that was difficult. Not really so much I was worried about my partner or worried about my behavior in these scenarios. It was more just like,
I mean, there was cheating too, though.
Yeah, there was quote unquote cheating, but it was kind of a don't ask, don't tell type situation for our college days. It was mostly like, it was. Was
that a conversation that was had?
Yeah, that was a conversation that was had. Yes.
Oh.
So it was because originally we broke up. We went to 2 different colleges and then we broke up. And then it was like, well, this sucks. Like when we come back home for Thanksgiving in, you know, however long, like I'm going to want to see you and hook up or whatever, you know, whatever the first holiday is after you go away to college.
I know. I'm just saying. Thanksgiving.
So you go, you show up and you see the person again. So it was like, okay, when this happens, let's not ask each other about what has happened while we were at school. Let's just decide that when we're in the same area, we're together. And that's kind of how it worked. And it went like that for like 4 years while we were in school. And then, but I think old habits die hard when you learn that behavior as long distance and then you try to make it work in the same city, those old habits die hard. So there was still cheating on the other end towards when we were in the same town. So but
on both sides, right? Like wasn't it, or no?
No, it was mostly anyway.
Okay.
So your friend I think it could be a codependency thing or both, or she's worried about what's going to happen if she's not around for 2 months.
Yeah. When you were saying the webcam thing, I completely like forgot about webcams when we were in college, but I recently told you a story about a webcam and me in college. Do you remember it?
I'm sure I do, because as you know, my memory is very good. It's filled with all sorts of memories, but it sometimes takes a jog,
It's like dating a goldfish.
Yeah.
Everything is just new for you. Like you do know this. But recently we hung out with somebody, and great guy. But after we hung out, I said, Ben, I fucked that guy. Did you know
right.
that? I fucked that guy once.
Yeah.
And you said, what? No way. And I said, yeah. So here's the story of why and how I fucked that guy. I was hooking up with this guy for like the majority of high school, and then like also college, like whenever we would be home, like we would resume. And sometimes freshman year we would like webcam, like just like talk and like catch up or whatever. We weren't dating by any means, but we were just like always still hooking up for like probably like 8 years. And one time he was like, show me your boobs. I said, no problem. So I did that. And then like that summer or something, I met his roommate, and his roommate was like, I saw your boobs on the webcam or whatever. And it turned out that his roommate had been sitting in the room while we were doing that, which is
fucked up.
Really fucked up.
Yep.
And so to, I don't know, kind of get him back, and because his roommate was a little cutie patootie, I fucked his college roommate in his bedroom at home.
Oh, that'll show him.
Yeah.
Way to get back at those guys.
Yeah, I didn't think about like he was a guilty party too. I was more thinking about like
seems to me like you just rewarded the guy for being a pervert.
I did. What an idiot. And now like I still allow him to be friends with me.
Well,
it's fucked up. But we have talked about it, and he has said it was fucked up.
Oh,
The guy who did the filming has never said it was fucked up. So yeah.
Well, it was.
It was, and I don't even remember doing my revenge. I was so drunk.
You were just on a tear.
I wasn't even on a tear. I was just like, how dare, like, I was like, oh, you want him to see my boobs? Then he's going to see a lot else too.
Boy, I do wish we were on camera right now, because there is the cutest baby squirrel right next to me.
Oh.
It is so tiny and cute. Oh my God.
I thought you were going to say, I wish we were on camera right now so you could show me your boobs.
Oh, yeah. Well, that'd be cool too. I'll show you a squirrel, you show me your boobs. Pretty fair trade.
Okay, so in the 10 years that we've been together, and I know this might be difficult because of the memory.
Yeah.
Are there any like moments that stand out to you? Like times that like you were like, oh, I love her, or...
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I think like one of the earlier ones was when you had your birthday party at Coney Island, and we had this wonderful day at Coney Island, and you and I got to ride rides together and just spend like the whole day kind of like as a boyfriend, girlfriend with all your friends. I thought that was really fun. And I look back at all those pictures from that day very fondly, and I think that was one of those moments where it was like riding on a ride with you, and like we were laughing so hard, and I was like, yep, I love this person.
That's cute. Yeah.
And I can't remember if that was the time where the roller coaster grabbed a fart out of my butt. But do you remember?
It is.
I think it is too.
No.
It's not, because like there's like we don't ride roller coasters very often together.
The only other time I'm thinking it could be was at
the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Nickelodeon World at American Dream Mall. But no, I think it was before that. I think it was like early, and I think it was on that same Coney Island trip, and it's just like my stand-up joke, like that's, I farted in front of you, and I knew, and I was in love.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, yeah, if you don't hear my fart, you don't have my heart. That's what it is.
Oh, wow, that's a new tag. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna try it this weekend.
It won't work.
I know it won't. I've got all sorts of new crap that I'm gonna try this weekend that I'm just so positive isn't gonna work. And I've got a show tonight. Yeah, I've got a show tonight. and I'm going to try to work the entire show clean because I have to do my clean set tomorrow.
Why?
Because it's the park show.
Oh, you're doing the park show. That's fun.
Yep, and they had my name on the news yesterday. Yesterday or the day before. Yesterday.
That's so cool.
Yeah, on Channel 2 News in Portland. They interviewed the two women that run the outdoor kickstand comedy show at Laurelhurst Park. And they were like, yeah, we get all these great local comedians and we have comics in from New York and all this stuff. And so then they posted the little flyer at the end of the segment and had it online. And I ended up getting like 2 follows from people I went to high school with.
Oh, cool.
People that I was not close with, but like was aware of. Yeah, one of them was in Max's grade, but like we were always super friendly and like, no. But yeah, I got a text message that says, I was watching the news, not a text message, but a DM that said, I was watching the news last night about comedy in the park, and I go to that every Friday, and I saw on the lineup Ben DeMarco, and I thought to myself, could that be the Ben DeMarco from high school? But anyway.
Well, shout out to that show.
Yeah, shout out to that show.
Cool.
It's going to be very cool. There should be thousands of people there. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So I'm a little nervous because it's kind of like bringing me back to COVID days and performing outside. And
I'll say this. I was at a park show the other day, and Nick Kroll was hosting.
Oh, right, in Central Park.
No, it was Madison Square Park.
Oh, Madison Square Park, that's right.
Because his wife like designed the garden there or something. I think that's why the show was thrown.
Okay.
There was like thousands of people, and like it was fun, but like one of our friends was on the show and was like, "Oh, that sucked." Like we had a lot of fun, but I think the comics, like you're used to laughter being more like contained and yeah, so like if you feel weird, it's not you, it's the park.
Right. That's what I'm, and I was trying to explain that to my parents and a friend of ours.
Or it's you, Ben. It might be you.
It could be me, but from what I've seen, like, we just did that Laughs Festival in Union Square, and it was the same thing. We're watching very seasoned professional great comics really struggle with just doing their material. And it's because, it's what I was trying to explain to my parents is that, like, you don't get immediate feedback, like you were saying, that you don't hear the laughter, you don't hear, and comedy is all timing. And although, like, you think you have your timing down of where the laughs will be, if you're not hearing the laughter, you are going to be either going a little bit faster or a little bit slower than you normally would go. And sometimes you might be stepping on laughs. So it's a give and take with the crowd a lot of the time, and like just having the big outdoor space where you can't hear things just really, I think, just makes it so much more difficult for the performer.
So at the Nick Kroll Park show, they were asking people about stories that they have in the park. And I didn't stand up because I didn't feel like it. But I do have a park story from our early days, which I think was pretty cute. It was Union Square Park, and I think we'd been hooking up for like either a few weeks or a few months or whatever.
Oh, I know this story, yeah.
Yeah.
This is bagels and hand-holding.
This is bagels and hand-holding, yeah.
It was a pretty nice morning.
We got a bagel at Starbucks, and you got like a cream cheese. And I don't think I've ever had a bagel from Starbucks before or since that.
Yeah, I think we split it.
Yeah, we split it, and you creamed it. Like, I don't know why I thought it was like such like a massive act of service. I had very low standards at the time.
Well, this time, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, you creamed the bagel, you split it in half. We shared it in Union Square Park. We sat on a bench together, and then you held my hand, I think, for like 3 seconds. What a great handhold that was. Yep.
And
then there was a story that I wanted to share, but I thought it would be like gassing myself up too much. That happened in Madison Square Park. It has nothing to do with you, but has something to do with this podcast. Is year one of How Come, Charlotte got recognized in public before I ever did.
Right.
She called me one day and was like, oh my God, you'll never believe this. Like, I was just like standing in a coffee shop and somebody like recognized my voice and was like, are you Charlotte from How Come? And of course, at the time, instead of being like, oh my God, the podcast, I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
how is she getting recognized and I'm not? And then I said that and she goes, Remy, you have to leave your house to get recognized. I said, facts. And then we ended up going to Madison Square Park one day and we were like eating Shake Shack on a bench. And lo and behold, someone goes, are you Remy and Charlotte from How Come? And that was the first time I ever got recognized for my work on this podcast.
So cool. And I always love that when we're out and about and somebody, you'll introduce yourself and then someone will go, oh, no, I know who you are. I listened to the podcast. That happened to us not that long ago at the Stand with a comic and his girlfriend. But that was, it's always so fun.
I think I told that story on here because the
really nice.
The comic like doesn't fucking register my name.
Right.
We've met like 52 times.
Right.
And then his girlfriend was like, you're Remy. And I was like, tell him that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this too. There are obviously a lot of stories that we've shared with each other, like from our past before we met. Do you have any favorite stories about like my lore as a person before you?
Your lore as a person before me. I just like any story of you from when you were a kid. How you just had, different names for things, whether it's a pila or a panty age in the pool, or
I used to call an earlobe a pila.
Yeah, earlobe's a pila.
The little section of the pool that's like a small step but isn't stairs is called panty age.
In the deep end, because you had to be of wearing panty age to go swim in the deep.
And not diaper
diapers.
age or
yep.
pamper age. You have to be panty age.
Yep.
Yeah.
And anything from when you were a kid, and the videos of you, with your friend talking about we're gonna smoke. We're selling cigarettes and we're going to smoke and be out of this world forever. Or, just anything with baby Remy or little Remy. That's all good lore to me. Yeah.
I like your story of being a whimsical little garden elf.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's really funny and cute, but it's also like very similar to me. Like, I was always making up that I was like a magical creature. Like I told Charlotte for years that I was a witch and I could do things. And you had this like camping trip.
Well, the very first time that my parents took me to go like actual camping, where we're at a campsite around a lake and there's other people there camping. There was a family with young children at our campsite, and it's a massive woods here in Oregon. So I would go off by myself, only child style, just into the woods, and I would spy on these other young kids at their campsite. And every once in a while, one of the kids would see me in the woods from far away. I was just kind of like observing them. So I decided, okay, I'm going to be a little like what would you even call it? Like a fairy or like a little lawn gnome?
Yeah, like somebody
beckoning.
Magical imp.
Yeah, a wood nymph, yes. Somebody that was going to beckon them into the woods. And in my head, I'm doing this like kind of like, oh, they saw me. I'm going to do a creepy little beckoning with my hand. And then I'm going to run into the woods and they're going to chase me.
Yeah,
they're going to
go, come hither.
Yeah, come hither.
You've
And they're going to go,
spotted this magical sprite.
Who is this
come
magical
with me.
kid?
Yeah.
Who is this kid? And they would run into them in my head, like they're following me immediately in my head. Like I'm like, okay, I do the come hither, and then I took off running because these kids are following me. And then I would be hiding in the woods for hours on end, being like, how come nobody's coming to find me? And these kids couldn't have cared less that I was in the woods beckoning them. They just stayed.
Do you think they saw you beckon?
They definitely saw me beckoning. They definitely saw me beckoning and then made the conscious decision not to go follow the creepy kid in the woods. So it's yeah.
They're like, you're not magical.
Yeah, you're
like,
not magical.
You're really just
skeeving us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what I remember is like running through the woods, thinking, oh my God, they're coming, and then they never came, and then hours would go by, and then I would return to the camp, and then they would just be like at the fire, like grilling hot dogs or s'mores or whatever. Could not have given two shits about me in the woods. But then ultimately, I ended up befriending these kids, and the oldest of the kids had a cassette tape that they were playing around the campfire, and it was the first time I'd ever heard this group, but it was Ace of Base.
Oh, wow.
And this girl, she must have been, 9 years old or whatever, had an Ace of Base cassette tape, their very first cassette, and right after that trip, that was the very first cassette tape that my dad bought me. Was after that, he bought me Ace of Base and the Beach Boys. But yes, we were very magical children in the woods.
We were very magical children. And also, I loved Ace of Base as well.
Yes.
Remember when we were going to write a musical about Ace of Base?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should maybe still visit that because, I mean, the catalog is there. Jukebox musicals are huge. And, we don't got to get into the details here, but,
No, we're not telling them what it's about.
We're not telling them what it's about, but Nazi Germany. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep. Yeah, and I think my other favorite part of your lore, well, I guess two other things, was that you used to steal Pokemon cards from
that's another similar one that you and I have.
Kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah, is that we'd wheel and deal with the younger kids in the neighborhood during Pokemon's peak.
I was scamming Charlotte out of her best cards by being like, oh, like 4 EVs are worth a metallic Machamp. And she was like, you are such a nice sister.
She's like, thank you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you were scamming some neighborhood kid.
His name was Mike Matroke.
Yeah.
And Mike Matroke had wealthy parents that would buy him so many Pokemon cards, and he had an incredible collection. And I was probably almost 10 years older than this kid. And,
insane.
Yeah, and he had a Japanese Mew, which was like one of the rarest cards out there. And I convinced this kid to trade a regular old Alakazam for a Japanese Mew.
Crazy.
And I mean, this back then, I think this was maybe like a $500 card, but like still like a very, very like important card, especially for like I was like fucking 13 or 12 or whatever, however old I was. Way too old. So I had this very nice card, and then I kind of got what I had coming to me because then somebody stole the card from me.
And I got what was coming to me.
Yeah, you had
somebody stole my whole binder.
Yeah, you had
and it was
same story.
Both of us. It was the youngest girl.
Yeah, the youngest
a
sister
family
of a friend. Yeah, of a family friend
who had 2 older brothers.
Wild stuff.
Crazy.
Yep.
Just like twin experiences on different coasts.
Yep. Well, I feel like you and I do have a lot of like similar experiences and similar stories, especially with just like family stuff too, where it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, like why aren't they talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my other favorite story about your lore is you having a bunch of Spice Girls posters in your room.
Oh, yeah.
And your dad being like, you should bring that to surf camp. And then you got made fun of. I
got bullied into basically not liking the Spice Girls anymore. Like I loved the Spice Girls. Okay, not now I can really truly say I think they have bangers, and it's like the music is sick and they're iconic. But back then, I'm going through puberty, and there's 5 of the hottest girls I've ever seen fucking dancing around in tiny little clothes, and this is awesome. So I thought that it was totally normal, totally hetero-normal, like fucking.
It is.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I was teased profusely by boys, calling me gay, calling me a sissy, calling me all this stuff because I liked the Spice Girls.
Calling you gay because you're so horny
because I'm
for
so
women.
horny for women. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy. But I mean, it was one of
Yeah.
those things where it's like a lot of the boys my age, if they had posters on their walls, it was of WWE wrestlers or Lamborghinis, and it's like, yeah, no, that's gay.
That's gay. Yeah.
But it was one of those things where just like no boys would even admit, let alone have physical evidence that you like the Spice Girls. No kids were even admitting that they liked the Spice Girls. It was kind of like Power Rangers at the time too. It was like Power Rangers was the biggest show in the fucking world, but for whatever reason, 12-year-old boys would not admit that they were watching it. Like it was like you were a weirdo or a baby or or a gaylord if you liked the Spice Girls, Spice Girls or Power Rangers. So
I had the same thing with nobody ever called me a gaylord, but I loved watching Barney like much later than I was supposed to.
Sure.
But I always had Charlotte to like blame. I'd be like, "Oh, my little baby sister loves it, so I love it too."
So I have to watch it. Yep.
Or so I have to watch it.
Yeah,
actually.
but then they go, "Well, you didn't have to learn all the words to the songs." But same thing. But like I loved the Spice Girls, and honest to God truth, I loved them because I was so horny for them. But I would get every single Teen Beat magazine at the store and cut out every single poster from the magazine. I would go to the book fairs at my elementary schools or middle schools, and I would get the posters from there. I had probably 10 posters of the Spice Girls all over my walls. They were looking down on me, keeping me safe at night, looking over my little boners. They were great. But I could tell that my dad, I don't know if like his friends were making fun of him or he was getting bullied because I liked Spice Girls, but Ray always had like a bit of a disdain for the Spice Girls posters in the bedroom. But he would never, he's such a good dad and he's so supportive, he would never say anything or make me feel weird about my likes. He would never do that. But
he'll make other people do
but
his
he's
dirty
a
work.
trickster. Yeah, but he's a trickster. He, even with, my longest friends like Jeff LeCoq, stuff like that, he would convince Jeff to tell me things rather than he tell me them, just to like
oh my
kind
God.
of like kind of hammer it home. So so that's what happened was I got enrolled into a surf camp, like a month-long overnight surf camp in California, and Ray said, well, why don't you're going to be there for so long, why don't you bring your Spice Girls posters and decorate your bunk with them? And I thought, oh, Dad, you're the coolest.
You're the coolest dad.
Fuck yeah, they're going to think I'm so cool and horny and straight and fucking awesome. And that was the exact opposite. I showed up for day one. I'm putting up my posters. And it was literally just the meanest little California kids. And this was the first time I'd ever heard the word hella. Like back then, it was like I put up those posters, and this little shit was like, "Yo, he's hella gay," and I was like, "Oh man, hella, hella gay."
Got me feeling hella gay, so let's just keep on dancing.
I'm feeling hella gay, so let's just keep on putting up Spice Girls posters. And not to mention I was putting up Spice Girls posters, but I also went to surf camp with a cast. I had just broken my arm, and
you had a cast.
Yeah, so they gave me I was gonna cancel surf camp. I said, I can't surf with a broken arm. I have a cast. They said, guess what, Ben? We've got these new things called waterproof casts. We're gonna put you in a waterproof cast, and you're still gonna be able to go to surf camp. And so I went to surf camp, but with a cast.
But how do you still push up?
Exactly. They lied, Remy. I couldn't surf worth a fucking damn. I had to boogie board the entire month at surf camp. So not only am I like the kid with Spice Girls posters, I'm the kid that can't even surf. I'm on the boogie boards. I've got a cast. I might as well have been wearing a helmet with a propeller on it also. It was just like that was just like the biggest loser. I got bullied so much. Bullied for the Spice Girls thing, Bowling for they called me Cast. It was not very creative, but they'd be like, "Oh, here comes Cast again."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so sad that I was just like by myself digging holes. Literally trying to dig to China, dig my way out of this fucking surf camp. I was just at the beach digging holes. It was.
Isn't that so weird that we all collectively decided that if you dig
if you just,
in the beach, you're going to China?
Yeah, you're going to China. Yeah, I feel like, that was just like
no matter where in the world you are. Or maybe it was just a U.S. thing.
Yeah, I think it's a U.S. thing if you dig, yeah. But it's, it was on some Disney Channel bullshit that... It definitely got ingrained into our brains from like some Disney Channel movie or some cartoon or... Yeah, who knows? Maybe Bugs Bunny said it. Maybe Bugs was like, if I dig to China, take a left turn at Albuquerque. Yeah, so... Yeah, it definitely... Every kid thought that you were digging to China. Every kid thought that... Marilyn Manson had his rib taken out.
Taken out so he could suck his own dick.
Like everybody, this was, I don't know where we got the information.
That definitely came from Looney Tunes. The Marilyn
Manson thing. Yeah, I remember Elmer Fudd was like, that wascally Marilyn Manson. That wascally Marilyn Manson trying to...
He got his whibs taken out.
He got his whibs taken out so he could swuck his own twig. That wascally Marilyn.
Yeah.
Wabbit season. Dick season.
We're moving whib season.
Yeah, we're moving.
Be very quiet. Yeah. We're sucking our own dicks.
Dude, this has legs.
I thought I saw someone sucking his own dick.
Yeah, he's like,
I did see someone.
Tweety, yeah. And then the cat, and then Sylvester's like, suffering succotash. He's sucking his own dick. Suffering, sucking his own dick.
I said, I saw him sucking his own dick.
Yeah, Foghorn Leghorn. What's up, Doc? Your dick in your own mouth?
What does Daffy say about stuff?
Daffy's like,
he's always like,
yeah.
He's like, let me lend you some saliva.
Yeah, let me lend you some saliva. But doesn't he have? I thought he
has a thing.
He has like
says.
a line. Yeah, he's got like a line.
It's like something that he's like, you guys don't want me around. That's the vibe I get from him. Is like, you never liked me.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to drive me crazy.
Well, we have the internet at our disposal.
Oh, nice.
That's like my favorite thing recently is like somebody will text me something and it's like not a thing that I know, but I'm like, instead of just like asking them, let me just look it up.
Right.
And, you're going to die. And pretend I know this thing.
Wait. Do you have the answer?
Yeah, I have the answer.
Oh, hang on.
You're despicable.
Oh, despicable. That's it. Yeah.
You're sucking your own dick. That's despicable.
That's despicable.
I love that you're despicable turned into you guys never liked me for me.
Yeah, that's the sentiment that you felt?
Yeah.
It's like, you're despicable for not liking me.
For not liking me.
Yeah, I'm nice.
I'm nice.
I feel like Elmer Fudd teaching kids about Marilyn Manson has legs.
Have you ever seen that Tyler Perry movie? Tyler Perry Presents the Looney Tunes?
No, is that a thing?
Yeah, it's like Medea, Medea, Medea. That's all, folks.
Oh, that's God damn it! I knew that.
This is like literally a testament to your memory. Because I can just tell him the same jokes.
And I'm like, that's great.
That's clever.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, how hot is it in New York right now?
It's fucking terrible.
Like 100 degrees?
Something like that.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm in the car by Smith and it's like 75 and I'm dying.
Yeah, we're dying. I was literally thinking last night that this is one of those times that I cried about when I was little. I've told you this story. You might not remember, but When I was in 7th grade, it was the first time my science teacher was telling us about the theory of global warming. Or
Yep,
climate change.
I know this story.
Yeah. And I started hysterically crying. And he was like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "You just said that the temperature is going up 1 degree Fahrenheit every year. Like, that means there are going to be some days that my kids can't go outside." And he goes, "Well, it's just a theory." And I was like, "It sounds like a really good theory." Yeah. And then he sent me to the dean to like, I don't know. I guess I like got in trouble for like feeling too much.
Right. Yeah. Go cry it out.
Yeah. But it's like a really big reason why I always wanted kids growing up, but ever since I learned that, I was like, this feels like hella irresponsible. Like, and like, obviously no judgment to anybody who is having kids. Kids are wonderful. And like, there seem to be kids who are happy playing outside right now, but it really affected me. And I think it really like stunted my want for development, like to become an adult. And I think that was like one of the main reasons. Like obviously thought you were like cute and funny and like hot and whatever, interesting and similar to me. But like when we first started hooking up and then dating, it seemed like we were really on the same page of like, we're not growing up. Like, we have no intention of growing up.
Yeah.
And I was very comfortable with that idea.
Yep. But now we're getting a little older. Now we got to grow up a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when we first started dating and banging, we were young 20-year-olds.
I was 25. You were 28.
Yeah, that's still young.
I know, but like...
yeah, I mean, it's still very much in the like, fuck it all mindset. Like, whatever, we're not growing up, Peter Pan syndrome.
Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, all of my friends were getting married like at that time.
Yeah, sure, me too. Yeah, sure, me too. And then, me too. But then also currently in this moment.
And not saying that marriage is and having babies is necessarily the barometer for growing up, but like.
No, but I mean, traditionally, that's like what people do.
Traditionally.
That's what people do, and that's what people think they're supposed to do, or not even think, like, their bodies are telling them that like that they should do this. But out of the large amount of people that were getting married around that same time that you and I started, dating, and they were getting married and they were having kids, I'd say over 50% are divorced already of my friends that got married at that age.
Your friends. A lot of mine are still together.
Yeah, and that's great. But it is like, people do go through these feelings of like, growing up too fast, or they're, trying to hit these life markers as they see fit, and then they end up being 38, 40, and they've already got kids that are 12, 13 years old or whatever, and they're like, now what? And then they go, and then now you're 40 years old, and you're now re-navigating the dating scene, and you're now divorced, and now you have children and all this stuff. So it's there's.
But you know who makes that look fun? Who? Is Kristen Cavallari.
Oh, well, Kristen Cavallari, I think, is just very fun and very cool.
I think she had her kids pretty early, because it seems like she's got like a 14-year-old now, and she's only like a few years older than me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And she's got like 3 kids, and she's living this like amazing like second life. Like, she's obviously like a very hands-on mom too, but like she's touring her podcast. She's like out there fucking, like. She's dating, I mean, not anymore, but she was dating like a Montana boy.
What do you mean, a Montana boy?
It's like a band, apparently.
Oh, I thought you meant just like a guy from Montana.
A guy from Montana? No, he's like 24.
She's just dating a Montana boy.
She's dating Max, your friend.
I was like, is that like an island boy? What is that? What is that? She's dating an island boy.
She's dating an island boy. She's dating both island boys.
Yeah.
And no, she's just, it seems fun. That being said, I feel like we have grown up together a lot,
definitely. Yep.
but also have like a lot of growth to do.
Yeah, and that's why it's fun. It's fun. I love to grow with you.
I know what your next ideal move is in the growth department.
What's that?
You want to live with me?
Yeah, we should definitely try that and see how that works.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do live together. We've lived together in Portland. We've lived together at Nanny's.
Yeah.
We've done it, but we should just do it without other people in the house.
Right. And we've never like paid rent together.
Right. Yeah. But that's part of it. And not all of life is supposed to be all fun and games. Some of it's work. And I think we're capable of doing that work together, and we can just figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a baby?
I do want to have a baby, but we have to live together first.
I'm not saying with me. I'm saying in life. Like, is that something that like?
Yeah, I would want to have a baby. I think, as my dad says, having a baby is the most selfish thing that you can do, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, Ray is such an angel. He pulled over once in the car with Ben and was like, "I'm so sorry for bringing you to the world. It's like, it's really hard." And Ben's like, "Oh, I'm having a great time."
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, it's okay. I'm having a good time. And he said that. Yeah.
But nobody's ever apologized to me, and I'm not having a good time.
Well, you're the people that should apologize to you are not the apologizing type.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky that my dad has the capacity to apologize for for creating my life.
Yeah. And that's another thing, because one of my parents gave me the depression that I have that is kind of like my, what do you call it? My normal setting,
Your identity.
My identity. And that was another reason why I was like, oh, I never want to have a kid that has depression, because they'd be like, what the fuck? You knew.
Right.
That this was a possibility.
Yeah.
However, I would never say that to somebody else with a disability or a neurodivergence that well, you can't have a kid because that kid might have the same thing.
You don't want to give them what you got. Yeah.
Yeah. I would never say that. And so I've been trying to take stock of my good qualities too.
Oh, yes.
That they could inherit. And anyway, all this to say, I think I'm going to freeze my eggs in August because
let's do it.
My emotions have been so consistent recently that it's just time to fuck them up.
All right, let's do it. Let's freeze your eggs, and I'll just start freezing my sperm too, just for fun.
No.
Why not?
I don't know if you need to.
I know I don't need to, but I've always thought about that. Is that what if, and I'm sure it's definitely a financial thing too, but what if every year from the time that I was 18 years old or whatever, and every year, take a sample and freeze that sample. That way you go, hey, you know what? It was a good year. It's like wine. You know what was a good year? I was really on top of things. I was in peak physical health.
2016.
You go, 2016 was a good year. And you go,
it was a good year.
Let me source some eggs and some sperm from that year. And let's make a little 2016 baby in the year 2025. I think that's really fun.
That's interesting. There were the most annoying people on the train the other day, Ben. This couple, first of all, she kept bumping into me. And she didn't care. Every time the train would stop, she would just crash her back into me. And I was like, this is awful. But they were talking about summer 2016. If you didn't have a good summer 2016, what the fuck were you doing? I had the best summer 2016. These two, oh my God. And I was just like, I hate you guys so much.
Yeah.
And I know I hate them so much because earlier in the train ride, I had tried to sit down and this woman was like, there's no room for you. And that is mortifying, but I hated these people more.
Yeah. And was it hot too? This is a hot day too.
Oh, it was boiling, yeah.
Oh my God, terrible. Yep. fuck those people. But I mean, they make a good point. If
they
you
make
weren't,
a good
if you-
point.
They make a good point. If you weren't killing it summer 2016, what the fuck were you doing?
What the fuck were you doing?
Yeah, it was. That was the.
We had a really nice 2016.
We had a great. I'm pretty sure that is the summer of Coney Island.
Oh yes.
Yes, most certainly. Most certainly. Yes, 2016 was great. 2016 was great. Great year for love.
Great year for music.
Great year. I don't even know about any music, but probably.
At night, I think of you.
Hell yeah.
Okay, wait. So, from your perspective, what are ways that we have grown?
I think individually and together, we've definitely learned how to communicate way better now, especially with arguments or if we do fight or anything like that. I feel that I've been able to get a hold of like my my anger and not being able to let things go immediately. Like you and I argue very differently. We're from very different styles, different schools of how to deal with confrontation. So I feel like we've gotten like miles upon miles, like night and day, better at that. Because back when we used to argue or fight, they would be huge fights for no reason, with a lot of like emotion behind it, and
we wouldn't talk for like a week.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be able to.
We'd break up sometimes.
And we'd break up sometimes, and we wouldn't be able to. I mean, ultimately, we'd be able to talk it out and figure it out. But now, I feel like we both understand each other's styles and schools a lot better, and that we can deal with things a lot more calmly and adult-like. So that's one thing. Another way that we've grown, or that you've grown particularly, is just like the way that you can compartmentalize your mental stuff nowadays. You don't let yourself get overly overwhelmed anymore, and that could be weed related, that could be what's called medication related, but really I think it's just that you've really learned how to not let yourself spiral as easily, and kind of like to talk yourself down easier, or not even let yourself get to the point of full-blown meltdown or crash out, or whatever the kids are calling it now. Crash outs,
yeah.
Yep. So super proud of you for that, and super great growing on that.
Thanks. I think it's 70% to do with me quitting smoking.
Sure. Yeah. I think while you were just overly high, you lacked the ability to silence those inner thoughts. That can sometimes get so loud, especially when you're on weed or whatever. But yeah, you've done so good at that. Another thing that we've grown so much at is that we are better at lifing. We're better at cleaning things now. We're better at paying things. Like I'm better at paying things on time, showing up to things on time, stuff like that. Whereas and that comes with growing up. I don't party as much. Still partier, but I don't party. I don't party as much. And like I feel like our ability to take care of our responsibilities has gotten better, and I think our relationship management, not just with us but with other parties, has gotten better as well, whether that be with our families or friends or coworkers. There's been leaps and bounds in how you would handle situations 10 years ago as to how you handle them now, and same with me.
I don't dead people anymore.
Yeah, and it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of nuances to this game of life, and you got to be able to. Not everything is so black and white, and being able to see that and to be able to navigate nuances is important.
Yeah, there was one day where you were like, Remy, not everybody needs to know you don't like them and why. Yeah, and I was like, oh, I can just like quietly not like them from afar.
Exactly. Yep.
And not give them a reason to like hate me just because I'm having like a moment.
Yep. And same with the opposite side. Like you don't have to let everybody know. You don't have to dive in head first when you really like somebody too, or you don't have to let somebody know. You don't have to play your whole hand all the time.
Yeah, I used to get real excited about friendships.
Yeah, real excited about friends. I mean, you're a very passionate and emotional person, and and that is a good thing. But it's also a good thing to be able to use that to your advantage and not show your whole hand all the time, because people are all different, and you never know how people are going to act.
Mm-hmm. I will say an area that you have grown is, like navigating my family.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Where you, and honestly navigating your own family, like I feel like we've both recommunication, like there are things that like you wouldn't ever ask your parents before, like about like their history that,
sure, yeah,
whatever, that like I've been like, tell us these stories, and you're like, yeah, tell us these stories. But then with my family, like I feel like you used to not, like you were like, I'm not fucking hanging out with like your grandma, like initially, you know, like you're like, that's weird, or like I don't want to be like in your dad's space, that's weird, or like whatever. Well, and now well, I think that's something that I've just learned along the way with you, and with the way that you have, the way that you deal with people and deal with your own family. I think I've just learned a lot from that, because coming from being an only child and the way that I was raised, even with my friends, it was always like you'd go over to your friend's house. I never wanted to spend time with their parents or with any. I always thought that was so fucking weird. Yeah.
But I'm weird. It's the exact opposite. Like everybody's got really cool families, and the fact that they're older has no. It's not an issue. But for whatever reason, my upbringing was always that like. And maybe that's something to do with my dad, because he had always said like, I'm not your friend, I'm your dad.
Well, Bean said that too. My mom said that too.
And same with, their friends or my friends. My dad would always make sure that there was a very clear line of like, I've got my friends, you've got your friends. Like that's how it is. Whereas, and that is accurate for when you're, rearing children, and that's the case. But now that we're all adults, it doesn't make that doesn't apply anymore.
Yeah, it's like, be respectful, sure, but like...
Yeah, but it's really seeing these...
people as people.
Quote unquote adults as actual people, like actual, not parental figures or not authority figures. They're just regular
you're
old...
You're a person that cares about my person, so I'm going to spend time with you.
Exactly. So I've definitely gotten better. Yeah, I've definitely gotten better at that. But that's because it was never a thing for me with friends or even girlfriends. There was very little to no relationship between my girlfriends' families and I, or my friends' families and I. It was always just I had my friends or I had my girlfriends. But
yeah, I had the same thing. I think with the parents of friends, but. With my ex, I was very close to his mom. But that's also because I think I had heard like mother-in-laws and or like they don't get along, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna do that. Be that. And now I text Jane more than I text you. Honestly,
I know that's great. It's crazy because literally, my mom. Even yesterday was like, and so how did you hear from Remy? How was her class today? And I said, yeah, she got out of class and she said it was good. And then she goes, oh, well, I heard that blah, blah, blah. She had like 10 more details than what I had, which was just like, oh no, like she said it was good. And she's like, well, she told me.
Well, she asks me.
Yeah.
And that'll be your next growth is.
Yeah, more asking. But whenever
I'm like,
I'll find the middle ground.
Ben, like, how did you like da-da-da? And then you tell me, and then I stare at you until you go,
oh, and how did you like it?
Yeah.
No, I got to get better at that with just people in general, because it's not just you. I do it to everybody.
Yeah. You mentioned that I'm in acting class. I think that is like the biggest sign of my personal growth, because I've wanted to enter into this acting school. I'm taking a summer intensive at the Esper Studio in New York, and I've been wanting to do it since like 10 years ago.
Yeah, so literally since we started dating.
And I was really afraid to, because a lot of people were like, it like kind of breaks you down, like your true self is like revealed through this work. And I was like not in the emotional place where I could do that. I was like, I don't think you could break me down any further. Like I am like always crying and like hate myself and whatever. I don't want to expose that to a class full of people. And then shout out to Ashley Gavin, because when I was recording her episode, I was like, are you doing anything special this summer? Like after we had wrapped, she was like, yeah, I'm doing this summer intensive at Esper. I said, oh my God, I've been wanting to do that for such a long time. She goes, you should apply. They're still accepting people. We start next week. So I literally applied like 3 days before classes start, something like that. And it didn't even give me the amount of time to like
chicken out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, to really
like the roller coaster analogy of like being on the line is like the scariest part.
Yeah.
Just like the waiting and the anticipation. And I have been having such a great time, but like such a transcendent time where like, yeah, it's revealing a lot of me, but I'm also revealing to myself that like, these are things that I've already known and am comfortable with.
Oh yeah.
You know, like,
yeah. And that must feel really nice too.
It feels really good. Yeah.
How fun.
So yeah, I'm finally doing my dream.
Yeah, and you know, and it's just sharpening you too, because you're already a great actress. You already get callbacks. You already, have this skill set of being a performer. So it's just reinforcing what you already do know about yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's so cool. And I think you're so cool, and I'm jelly.
Thank you. Well, you could do it too. I think you'd be great at it. I can't wait until you're back and I can do some repetition with you.
Okay, yeah, I'm down.
Because that's the technique, you guys. It's a Meisner school.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Anyway, this has been very fun. I can't wait.
I can't wait to see you
back.
again. Yeah.
I know.
Well, I was looking at tickets yesterday, and it's looking like it's either I come out like on 4th of July.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, because my shows end, like my last day of shows are on the 30th, so it's like I can either fly out on the 1st or I can save like $200 and fly out.
Last year that's when we flew. Remember, we surprised Charlotte and Josh.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the cutest surprise ever. We told them that we were going to stay in Portland for like another month, and they were so upset.
Yeah,
and then we turned off our locations. Flew back, drove out to Long Island at 6 a.m, woke them up in their beds, and we were like, we're here on the 4th of July.
Maybe that's something we should do again this year.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So, yes, I'm excited to get back and to be with my one.
Yeah, and your other two.
And my other two, which is Grace and Nick. Can't wait to get back. Can't wait to actually turn this car on. For starters, I'm so hot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Also, just to bring it full circle, sometimes distance does make the heart grow fonder, but it also makes your cat spend more time with you, because Grace still does not sit in the bed when Ben is here, and we get to have so much mother-daughter quality time.
It's great.
And
I love to see you send photos of her and you guys in bed together, and I'm just glad that you guys are keeping each other company while I'm gone.
Yeah. All right. Well, Ben, I love you. Where can everybody find you on the internet?
I love you. You can find me at Benny D NYC on social media, and I have some shows coming up at the Stand and some shows on the road. So yeah, just keep an eye out on my social media for dates and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can follow me at Remy Casimir. I'll be there all the time. Just waiting for you guys to DM me about Love Island or anything else you're watching, really. And you can follow the podcast at How Come Podcast. If you want to listen to this whole thing unedited, patreon.com/howcome. And Ben, I have to ask you a question. I think you know what it is.
Did I finish?
Did you finish?
Yes, I did.
Yay!
And there was and I did it in my own mouth because I had my ribs removed. Cue the music. How come? How come?
Nope. I'm waiting.
Did you finish?
Yes, thank you so much for asking.
Yeah. I'm gonna get
All
better.
All right. Well,
at it.
thanks for coming in your own mouth, and we'll see you next time on How Come.
We love you.
Bye.
Cue the music.
No, say goodbye.
No, okay, sorry.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Cue the music.
It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I've still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help, 'cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna just
You guys, I forgot to mention this on the episode, and it's one of the funniest things that's happened to us sexually recently. That, like, the second it happened, I was like, Ben, can we please talk about this on the podcast? So Ben, tell him about that time.
Well, I assume what you're talking about is a time recently when we were having sexy time, and I believe I was titty fucking you or having sex with your boobs. And I came on your chest, and then as I was dismounting, I kind of I slipped and I fell, and my face just landed directly in all the cum that was on your chest. It got all over my face and in my mouth, and yeah, it was pretty fun.
It was so funny. I don't even know if it was titty fucking. I thought it was like normal sex, and then you came on my chest like.
Oh yeah, maybe I just pulled out and blew it on your chest, or maybe you were giving me head or something. I have no idea.
Yeah.
All I know is that it ended up on your chest, and then I fell face first into my own
Yeah,
jizz.
it was so funny.
Yeah, I mean, funny for you, delicious for me.
It's all the eating your own cum that Marilyn Manson wants without any of the rib removal.
Without any of the work, exactly.
All right, ba-dip, that's all, folks.